Hi, I'm Cindy Wilfong, and we're here on Optimal Health on Purpose today to talk about weight resistance training. It should be a lifelong pursuit. Having the idea that lifting weights for a short time will produce long-term results is foolish. You just heard me say it's a lifelong pursuit, right? It's kind of also like thinking going on a quick fix diet to lose 15 pounds will produce long-term results. That usually doesn't either. Living a healthy lifestyle is exactly that, living that lifestyle every day. It's easy for Basil and I to live a healthy lifestyle of eating right and exercising every day because we feel so much better. I can't even tell you how different I feel eating the way that we eat now than I did before when I used to, I can remember my tummy hurting, I would overeat, I would eat the wrong things, too many carbs, like a big hamburger. If we'd go to a hamburger joint, I'd eat a big hamburger and my stomach would hurt all the rest of the night. I just feel like I had to go home and lay down. And eating the way we eat, I never feel like that anymore. And exercising every day, it's a great lifestyle. You just feel so good. We don't feel like we have to escape from the grind of eating right and exercising because we've chosen to love our lives. It's not a grind, it's just the way we live. We're going to cover eating on another video, but for right now, I just want to focus on the benefits of weight training. You know, lifting weights on a regular basis has so many benefits. Benefits our bodies in that your bones get stronger, so you may have less broken bones. Your muscles get stronger, so you can catch yourself if you trip and stumble, or you can carry more things. It just makes your everyday chores easier. Your balance gets better, so you'll stumble less, and if you do, you can catch yourself better. And your flexibility gets better, so you can reach further, you can take bigger steps, you can pick things up better, you can bend over and tie your shoes better. Your flexibility gets better with stretching along with your weightlifting. Your immune system stays stronger, so it can help you not be sick as much. Your hormone levels get optimized, so you're healthier and you're more stable emotionally. Your whole endocrine system works better. Your skin stays tighter and younger looking. And you know, probably the most important thing is that your self-image and your confidence is better in everything else that you do. Anyway, that's what I've seen. You know, I'd like to refer to a few people and their websites that I think that would be really great for you to go to. Tom Venuto, which is www.tomvenuto.com. He is a great author. He's been a natural, lifelong bodybuilder, and he's written a lot of books, The Body Fat Solution. He has a blog. I think he has a Burn the Fat weight loss challenge every year, and he's just got some great articles and great books. Another favorite of mine is Frank Zane. He was 3-time Mr. Olympia in 1979, 80, and 81. I think he's been voted by Muscle and Fitness magazine as having one of the most coveted, best physiques, that more people want to have a physique like his. And he really has he really has made this a science. It's a science of bodybuilding and sculpting the body and looking at yourself every year and deciding, like, maybe you want to make some little changes in certain body parts and how to make that happen. And he really approaches weightlifting from a very smart, scientific level, and he's got awesome books. So his website is www.frankzane.com. ZANE.com, and he's got great books, great articles. Anything there would just be great. He's been a mentor from afar for me. So another one that I really like is Robbie Robinson. He was one of the original Muscle Beach bodybuilders, and his website is www.robbyrobinson.net. He's got a great book called The Black Prince of Bodybuilding that just gives you a lot of, if you're interested in bodybuilding and the history, it just gives you it's a fun story and such a story of overcoming for him. So he's got some great illustrations in there of him as a young child being a stutterer, and he was doing terrible in school, and so he shut himself in a closet with a book and read it until he could do it without stuttering. as a young child. Nobody told him to do that. So he kind of laid the groundwork for success in other things later in life. So I think you'll really enjoy those and benefit from those 3 authors a lot. The last 2, Frank Zane and Robbie Robinson, are lifelong bodybuilders, and they're both in their 70s now, and they look great. They're great examples of eating right and exercising their entire lives. And they've documented, Frank Zane has documented pictures of him when he started out at like age 16 or 17 all the way through. His wife Christine is a photographer, and so they've taken a lot of photos so you can see how his physique has looked his entire career. I just think that gives you the why of what you're doing. On this video, I'm going to be talking and describing 3 levels of weightlifting: beginning, intermediate, and advanced. And at each level, there are 5 things to pay attention to. Number 1 is the attitude to program yourself with. Number 2, the major goals to shoot for at each level. Number 3, things to watch out for. And number 4, the intensity to exercise at. I think that's a big question for everyone. And then number 5, how to monitor your results. So let's start with beginning weightlifters. So you might be starting out 3 to 5 days a week, and the attitude that you should have is just program yourself to enjoy this process of going to the gym lifting weights. You aren't going to get there overnight. This is a process, and you've got to enjoy the process and know that it's a lifelong, long-term thing, and if you rush it, you're cheating yourself, because you're going to learn so much along the way. Number 2, the goals is that you want to learn the motion and good technique of basic free weight and machine exercises. So you're going to begin to strengthen your muscles and tendons and ligaments. This will give you a baseline for more intense weightlifting later. Don't cheat the process. It's kind of like building a house. You have to lay the foundation properly before you start going up, or your house is, probably going to crumble. So you've got to lay that foundation and take the time to do it and enjoy it. You don't want to rush this process, because your muscles tend to get strong faster than your tendons and ligaments. So if you're rushing this process and you get stronger, then you may end up with tendonitis or a pulled ligament or something. So you just want to enjoy this process and don't rush it. And you want to get to where you're doing full body workouts. So maybe you're doing a circuit, so you're moving from one exercise to another, and when you're completing, if you want to, you can do another circuit. Or maybe you'll group your exercises in pairs of 2 and go back and forth for a couple sets. We call those supersets. I'll give you an example. Maybe you might do a wide grip lat pull down, and then you might do a bench press, and you do those back and forth and then move on to your next group. So you want to really focus on the mind-muscle connection. And that is learning to feel the muscle and controlling when you're doing it, and knowing how to connect mentally with the muscles that you're working. You want to gain and understand what you are working and why you're working it. When I first started, I looked at muscle charts to see what the muscles looked like that I was working, and then I would visualize it in my head, those muscles working. Sometimes I even close my eyes and visualize them. Number 3, cautions. You want to adjust the exercises you do based on your body mechanics and any previous injuries that you may have had or are recovering from. So sometimes just adjusting your grip or your stance can make a big difference. Number 3, the intensity. You want to use low to moderate weights to build your foundation, and you want to do sets in the 8 to 12 rep range. You want to avoid going clear to failure or lifting weights that you can't completely control the full range of motion. You can do exercises with opposing muscle groups, like I just talked about, opposing chest and back, and that way you're not resting. You can keep moving, and you can do bicep and tricep. You can do quads and hamstrings. Sometimes I superset squats with overhead presses for shoulders, because those are different muscles. And then I'm not resting so much, but I can just keep moving. And so you rest as little as possible between sets, because you're just moving between sets. And then you want to monitor your results. You should not be more than mildly sore. If you get up the next day and you go, oh, I feel the muscles that I work, that's good. But if you're too sore, If you're so sore that it's making you grouchy, or you're so sore that when you get up out of a chair, you have to hang on to something, you're probably too sore. So you need to back off your intensity. And if you're not sore at all, then you can work out a little harder the next time. You can increase the intensity. So let's move on to intermediate weightlifters. And this could be 3 to 5 days a week. So number one, your attitude should be programming yourself to enjoy going to failure and feeling the feeling of mild muscle soreness. Your goals should probably be to split up your workouts by working different body parts on different days. One example could be arms and shoulders, chest and back, legs and calves. Another example could be grouping your pushing muscles together, chest, shoulders, and triceps. And then another day do back, rear delts, and biceps. And then the third day you could do legs and calves. How much you break up your workout depends somewhat on how many days a week that you plan to work out and how sore you are in between. You want to work both group and isolation type exercises. You want to train to create a symmetrical look with good muscle shape and design your workouts to improve weak areas. Cautions: you only want to lift weights that you can control through the full range of movement without twisting or contorting your body to complete the movement. Like, I've seen people try to get one more overhead press and they're doing this to try to get it up, and that's just, that's a recipe for disaster. Or you could hurt your back. You want to do 1 or 2 warm-up sets per body part with light weight to warm the muscles up and get the blood flowing in. And you want to use a full range of motion, but use caution not to overextend your joints and cause damage to tendons or ligaments. Number 4, the intensity. Do slightly heavier weights for the first exercise on each body part with reps in the 6 to 10 range, and that's after a warm-up set. And then do moderate weights for the rest of your exercises with reps in the 8 to 12 range. And then focus on controlling the motion and speed of each rep. You want to fully control it, the positive and the negative. Keep that mind-muscle connection so that you're getting as much out of the negative as you are the positive. It's almost like doubling your money in investment. You can do it. You can do the positive, and then just like if you're doing curls, you can come up and just let it drop, or you can come up, squeeze, and control it on the way down. And that gives you a lot more intensity, and you get a lot more result from that kind of workout. Begin experimenting with various methods of progressive overload training. Some of these techniques are described as supersets, drop sets, half reps, or you can have a spotter to aid you for the last few reps. We have an article uploaded on our website from Tom Venuto that's called The Progressive Overload Principle. It's really a good article, and I think that that's a PDF. You can print that and read it, and then he's got more articles like that on his website. Number 5, monitor your results. It's a good sign to have sore muscles, but not too sore. When your body part is still sore when it's due to be worked out again, you either need to rest more or reduce the intensity of your workouts, or maybe just take an extra day off. If your calves are still sore when it's time to work calves again, then you might want to take a day off before you do it, or you want to listen to your body. It's important to develop the discipline, but it's also important to listen to your body and take a day off when you need it. So the last one, for advanced weightlifters, you're probably going to be working out 5 to 6 days a week. And the attitude is to program yourself to enjoy overload training. But you want to guard yourself from developing an out-of-balance physique by overworking your most favorite body part and then skipping your least favorite body part. I can't tell you how many guys I see working shoulders all the time. And they've got these big boulder shoulders, and gosh, where's their calves? You can hardly see them because they forget those. Remember, symmetry means everything is in proportion. To have a Frank Zane type physique, you have to pay attention to your weak body parts and work those. Sometimes work those more than you do your favorite ones that respond really well. Number 2, the goals. You want to limit your group muscle exercises and closely monitor your muscle shape and symmetry. You want to not only split up your body parts, but maybe also split up muscle groups to create the specific muscle shape you desire. And I'm not intending A lot of these things take more explanation, but this is just an overview of what your goals should be. Number 3, cautions. You want to implement a progressive overload training plan and take time to warm up and stretch. That's really important. I think a lot of people forget the stretching part before and after. Just want to do some light stretching to get the muscles loosened up, and leave time before you leave the gym so that you can stretch, or you can stretch between sets. It helps just helps lengthen keeps your flexibility, and you'll just get better results. You won't be as sore, and you'll keep your flexibility. You want to avoid being drawn into lifting weights that you can't completely control through the full range of motion, and avoid doing heavy lifts to failure without a spotter. So if you can't control it, don't lift it. Go down 5 pounds or whatever it takes to do it right. It's much better to do it right than to do a heavy weight and hurt yourself, or do a heavy weight and be swinging it. Number 4, the intensity. You want to use a progressively intensity overload training program, but use common sense. You can go to my website again and download the Tom Venuto Progressive Overload Weight Training Without Injury article. That's really, really good. And mix in training with continuous tension. You want to use peak contractions in the movements, slow down your reps. Periodically, you want to maybe increase your reps or vary your intensity with a simple periodization plan to increase the intensity of your workouts. There's a lot of ways when you're an advanced weightlifter to increase your intensity with either number of reps or alternating maybe a heavy workout. Next time you do a lighter one with higher reps. Drop sets, giant sets, half reps, or have a spotter help you go past failure. Even when working the same muscle group set after set, you want to keep your rest time between 1 to 2 minutes. And you might consider just working one body part a day and really blasting it. You want to push your muscles beyond failure as much as is appropriate for you. My husband can push past failure with more of his sets than I can. If I do it every set, I'm just too sore, I can't do it, but I'll push that last one. So you just kind of have to learn to know your body. For particularly stubborn muscle groups, you might consider doing some higher reps to just really pump those muscles with blood. Calves are one really good example. They seem for almost everybody to respond better to high rep sets than to do heavy weights. You risk maybe like pulling your Achilles tendon or pulling your soleus muscle, and they seem to, just because of the way the muscle is designed, they respond better to higher reps. And sometimes my husband will do occasional back-to-back workouts on a body part like back. You probably wouldn't catch me doing that, but he gets some good results with that. So number 5, you want to monitor your results. Take pictures to see what your strengths and weaknesses are. Maybe want to take some pictures once a year. So maybe you're not competing, you're not doing a bodybuilding competition or a physique competition, but it's kind of nice to have maybe a goal that you set once a year, that you do your personal best that year and you take some pictures, and then you have them for the next year. Pictures are just so much fun to go back and look at, and also to study them and see how much you've improved or where you need to improve. You want to monitor your soreness 2 days after you've worked a body part. That's called delayed onset muscle soreness. So you want to listen to your body and sometimes take an extra rest day when you need it. I think the thing that I see with a lot of people is they get in this mindset is like, oh, I have to work out, I gotta go all the time, every time. And sometimes an extra day of rest, or maybe just some active rest where you just, you want to do something, but you're not in the gym. Maybe just go out and do a trail hike, or go out for a nice walk or a bicycle ride and do something active recovery, but maybe you're not lifting weights that day. So I really hope that this information will inspire you and assist you at whatever level of fitness you choose, but make this a lifelong pursuit to live a life of optimal health on purpose.